I went to Dromore Centre, school that's in town now. I would have been about, I think Dromore Centre was opened in 1938. One of the first pupils in the school. There was 3 schools went there. There was the school belonging to the Ban Road Presbyterian Church, the school belonging to the Church of Ireland, the Procreal School, and the school belonged to First Dromore Church, which was the school that I attended at that time. And then them 3 schools went into the primary in Dromore. Because we had a teacher up in the school beside First Dromore Church, and she was quite sharp, and of course we thought when we go down to this other school there'd be a lot more teachers. Maybe we'd be lucky enough to get another teacher, but so happened we got the same one for another year down in the primary school, you know, and she was there for a long time, really, you know, so she was. But 1938, I would have been 9 then, and I went then to that school, and we went. So it would have been a big change from the school I went to beside First Dromore Church. I would have, there would have been this lady, this teacher that taught in the new school in the primary. She taught 3 classes in the other school. She taught, which would have been P1, P2, was babies, infants and first. That was the way they were, babies, infants and first. That was the first 3 classes in a school in them days. And she would have taught them 3 classes. Then there would have been another 3 classes, and then another teacher, and then there would have been the master. You know, there was just the 2 teachers and the master. You see, whenever we went down to the primary school, we were all, I was in P1 at 9, and I went down to the primary school, I was in P1. But then before that, you see, I was in along with the babies and infants, you know, up in the other school. But I was down in with P1 in there, you know, so they would have been they were all P1s, you know, in that class. She had that class of all P1s. So she was Mrs. McVeigh. Well, she wasn't Mrs. McVeigh at that time, she was Miss Jardine, and she was married while she was in the primary school. I can remember it well. She got a wedding present and she was married, and she was Mrs. McVeigh. So she was, so that was. And you, of course, you just went to school until you were 14. There was no, what do you call him? There's no John Wilkinson across the road. There's no John Wilkinson across the road, you know, then, so there wasn't. Yeah. No, there was no secondary school. Well, if you were lucky enough for your parents you could have went on, I suppose, to the tech or that if you had money or whatever, you know, but few did go to the tech, you know. But. And where school, we had to go from there to a school, what they call the tech, up in Church Street, and you went there. And we used that, you were talking about parsnips and banana essence and stuff to bake with, you know. For if you took ingredients out of your weekly rations to bake with, you didn't have much left, you know. And our cookery teacher was a Miss Smith in them days. To bake, but you had to wear, you got the rations, well, maybe if you were lucky enough and got some shop or other that had maybe something over, you know, you would have got it. But it was tight enough to get, you know, what you could to learn to bake with, you know. But you learned to bake and you learned to knit and then the schools, I don't know how they do them things now or not in the schools.